Woke up to this today. Catastrophic failure here at the Little Works.
It's as if someone reached down from the heavens and pancaked my boat shed.
Hi, I'm Joe, and welcome to Motor City Boat Werks. Let's get to work.
I'm Joe. Welcome back to my channel. This is my boat works. I built it in retirement, and it's an antidote for like my boring life. I decided that I just got to get out there and do something in my retirement. So I created Motor City Boat Werks to show all my tips and tricks on how I restore boats. It's been my hobby for about 20-30 years, so I thought I'd show you some of the stuff. Today is kind of a sad day because obviously the Little Works has suffered a setback. This is a temporary shrink wrap shelter that I had built about 2.5 years ago. It cost about $1,000 to build it, and it's built from some kind of reused party tent poles and some 7-8 mil shrink wrap. And I have a whole episode where I talk about that. Be sure to check it out. Been very happy with it so far, and to be honest with you, it has survived some tremendous windstorms, snowstorms. Like I said, it's 2.5 years. It was going strong. Because it's a little bit thinner material than what I wanted, there have been some tears, but I've been spot repairing them, and it's been doing really good. But now, this winter, it's just so cold. We've had numerous days, weeks of negative-degree weather here in the Detroit area. One day it was like -14. And I think the cold has had something to do with it. Let's go in and take a look. Come on. You can see right here, basically, the top has collapsed. And what I've been trying to figure out what is it that caused this to collapse, because we've had some pretty rough winters the previous 2 years. So why did it suddenly do it this year? And I'm not quite sure. If you look here, you can see that, obviously the poles are bent. They're all bent on this right side here. So it would appear that this side collapsed first, and then the left side fell in on itself. It happened sometime around 4 p.m. the other day, but I didn't actually catch it on film.
It's crushing, literally. Not a day prior, I posted that the temporary shelter was holding up so great it had survived 2 years, and it was just proving all the naysayers wrong. And now the restored Skipper 20 sailboat is buried under the collapsed roof. All that hard work, all that effort, hundreds of hours and money. You feel devastated and heartbroken. You wonder why. Why am I doing this? Why does this happen to me? It's as if someone reached down from the heavens and pancaked my boat shed.
Everything is frozen right now, so because it's about 12 degrees outside, there's no way to get any of the snow off of there. And I will tell you, this snow that's on here probably came after the fact of it collapsing, because we're getting snow every day, every night, all the time. So
we're always worried about Mother Nature can be so cruel on the water, but she can also have a mean streak on land.
I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Come this way, check this out. So previously, in the previous 2 years, the pitch of the roof was perfect and the snow just slid right off. And I'm not sure if over time the plastic has been stretching or if something has been failing over time. I think this is what is causing the problem. Come over here. So if you watch my construction video where I explain how I built this thing, and my design called for taking a normal party tent and raising it from about 10 feet opening, raising it, at least one segment higher. But in doing that, I didn't have enough poles that slotted inside each other, holding them together. So I needed some sort of a piece of pipe or tubing or something to join two pieces together. And I did that using some Schedule 80 gray heavy-duty PVC that I got at a big box store. And I put it inside these joints here. It's actually quite big. And inside here, and then the poles go on the outside and it kind of bolts in place using the PVC to kind of slot inside as a support brace, right? And if you look over here, it would appear that it failed and broke. This is my thought process.
Motor City Boat Werks is about the small sailboats and the pocket trawler that I'm restoring in my boat works. This boat is going to take me around the Great Loop in retirement. I film and pay for everything myself. You'd be doing me a favor if you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Join me on Fridays for episodes from my boat works. Thank you.
All right, let me see if I can show you what one of these things looks like. I think I've got them back here. I haven't been working in the shop because it's just so cold. I think I have some spare pieces up here. Let's see. There. Check this out. All right, so this is it right here. This is what was used as an insert. And Schedule 80. So the problem is that this is only good down to about 32 degrees. And when it gets down to 20 and below 20 degrees, well, it fails. It'll crack under any kind of load. And I think this is what's happened. I think this insert failed. I don't believe that it's because of the inherent design of it or the idea of using, the tent poles with the shrink wrap. I have no doubt that that's a good idea. I believe that I made a critical error when I put this thing together using some PVC inserts. I'm not an engineer, right? So what do I know? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a guy figuring it out real time, kind of doing it just like probably you are, just working my way through these kind of issues. Problem solving in boat building, you do it every day.
Hey, I'm working here.
Luckily, there appears to be no damage because it hasn't actually come in contact with the boat yet. Now I've got some support pieces up inside here trying to kind of keep everything from collapsing further. To be honest with you, I don't think it's going to go much further as long as, we don't get a whole lot more snow.
One of my boat building rules is about the quality of materials, and I talk about fresh is best. Choosing paint and sealants, want to make sure that they haven't expired, but also choosing materials that are appropriate for the project that you're doing. And in this case, I didn't do that. I made a mistake. The PVC was not designed to withstand this type of low temperature. I really should have used something, maybe metal or something like that. But I tried to cut corners and I didn't have any on hand. And now I'm paying the price.
So I'll be curious your thoughts on this. What do you think I should do? The problem right now is that I can't remove anything because everything's frozen. So I have to wait for the weather to warm up and then hopefully maybe cut some holes in the roof and get it to drain. Of course, it'll drain down the boat, but that's okay. It's all sealed up. And then eventually I'll be able to maybe raise, the bent poles back up enough to be able to get the boat out from underneath the shelter. We still got to do the sea trials this summer, and I'm thinking that I got to rebuild the little works. I need a workspace out here to store the little boats, the little sailboats that I'm always working on. I got to have a place to keep those, and so it's got to be probably something like this. I'm not allowed to build another structure where I live. I have too many outbuildings already, and I've reached the maximum allowed for my zoning. So I need a temporary structure that is not permanent, but yet still does the job. I thought the little works, this first go around was going to be the solution because I wanted to get about 3 to 5 years out of it. And we made it 2.5. So I think Maybe with some design modification, I could get it to last longer. I would use heavier material. I would go up to about 10 or 12 mil, and I would probably redesign the joints, for the extended height here, make sure that that's a little bit stronger, and as well as kind of square up some aspects of this. When I first did it, a lot of things weren't aligned and it didn't really look very good. So I think I would want to fix all that. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time. So I don't know. You tell me in the comments what you think I should do, because I have no idea. And right, that's the purpose of YouTube. You tell me what to do, and then that way we'll quickly figure it out. And maybe I'll get a sponsor in the process. We'll find a way to get somebody to donate, a shelter maybe, or maybe some type of software identification type of sponsor will sponsor me while I rebuild my shrink wrap shed. I don't know. We'll figure something out. So anyway, it's kind of a sad day in the boat works. I feel sad. And if I had a cat, I'd probably feel better if I had a little pet running around, but I don't have that. Or if I had a little baby. But, Frankie, after my last video, they took him away from me, so I don't have anybody. I'm just kind of by myself. Well, listen, thanks for stopping by. I'll be back again soon with some how-to projects. I promise we'll actually get to building some boats in the woods. We'll get that done. We'll make things happen. Stick with me. Thanks.
Do you want to try some of these projects? Well, I make my notes and my parts list, all of the details from my DaVinci notebook available to the workers. Workers also get access to my ebooks. The book I wrote about restoring a classic 30-foot sailboat, you get that free. My guide to building a pilot house on a small sailboat, you also get that free. Every worker gets a free shop sticker. You get behind-the-scenes footage, and you get updates from me as I'm working through the projects in the boat works. But wait, there's more. Depending on what tier you are as a Patreon supporter, well, you get a discount on my consulting, on my personal coaching for your boat restoration project. Check it out. All you have to do is go over to my Patreon account, sign up as a worker. Even if you can't afford to support the channel right now, sign up as a free worker, because sometimes I give away free information.